Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Monday. And you know what that
Again.
means? Monday again. You are back in the marriage shop. I'm Mike. This lovely lady here is Wendy. And yeah, we going to talk about some marriage
Yeah,
stuff
yeah. We
tonight.
we couldn't get started till BJ jumped on. So hey, BJ,
What?
blessings to you and happy Monday. Robert Harrell and Stephanie Hines, thanks for being here. You guys jumping in early. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're seeing it early. I don't see any indication on my screen anywhere that those people are around. It makes me feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
that's good. What's
yeah,
up?
it's good. It's good. So it's Monday. We're still in Evans. We're in Evans. We haven't been traveling like we used to.
Um, no, we haven't, and that's I'm all for that
That's a good
right
thing.
now.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
Although we did some travel last week. Or when was
we
that? Yeah.
that was yeah that was last week. That was last week. Yeah, because we matter of fact we did the marriage shop actually from our undisclosed location last week. And that wasn't and everybody's like enjoy your vacation. About it wasn't a vacation, y'all. Like for real, it wasn't vacation
No.
at all. But sometimes you do have to vacate, get somewhere, and do something different, be in a different space.
Yes.
And so that was good, I think,
Yeah.
for
I
us.
mean,
Yeah.
because I think the word says that even Jesus had to seek solitude. That's in there.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I'm with it.
I'm just saying,
I'm
you
with
can
it.
confirm that. Every now and then, I think it's good to, as we say, disconnect, perhaps to reconnect. And whatever that means for you, whether that's reconnecting with each other or strengthening your relationship with God, it is important that you sometimes listen to your body and, more importantly, listen to your mind and do what needs to be done. Oh, the hearing just went out in my right
Oh
ear.
no, not that. Not
Oh
not while we're live.
no, I know. I'm so distracted. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
we had an amazing time on Saturday here in Augusta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
At
want to talk about it?
the concierge show. No, you can go ahead and talk about it. But yeah, I was gonna go ahead and talk about it after I said you
Yeah.
talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, our really good friend Samantha Daniels had her fourth
I think fourth.
fourth
Mm-hmm.
iteration or segment or show or I don't even know. But each time there is something different. There is some nugget to take away. But we are privileged to be in the area where we get to see the Ponsier show front and center live.
Yeah.
She is just an amazing individual who has committed her life to making a positive impact in this community.
Yep. And I would expect. I mean, she's filling up, whole auditoriums and everything. So I'm sure you'll see the Pontier show coming to a streaming service near you.
Yes, yes. Hey,
Yeah.
Tiffany Stokes and Dana Jones Stokes, thanks for being here.
Hey.
Yeah, you have to check out her page. We've talked about her before, but it is The Ponsier Show on Facebook.
Yep.
And it was just amazing. This particular one, all of them have had some element of focusing on mental health
Yep.
and
That's kind
wellness.
of the point. Yeah.
That is the point. She is a comedian,
You know,
comedian.
she tells jokes
She tells jokes,
for a
but she's
living.
also a therapist. And so each show has an element that really speaks to mental health and mental health wellness. Yeah, mental wellness. And this show did not disappoint. So we were in the house.
Yep. And she her special guest was Michelle Williams.
Yes.
From Destiny's Child, Michelle Williams. And wow, I had never seen Michelle Williams like live, like in
Yeah.
that type of an environment, like talk show. I was thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly enjoyed
Yes.
her.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
real. It was real. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like I knew her. And I think that,
Yeah.
sometimes that's hard to pull off, but I mean, she could be our cousin.
She really could. She was hilarious.
Really
Yeah.
good. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Just
And
down to earth and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought their interaction was strong, and the whole thing. It was just an amazing event. And so, if you have the opportunity in the future, when she has a next show, because I know there's going to be a next show,
Yeah.
that is something that you definitely want to make time in your schedule for.
No question. And some people are like, what? Michelle Williams? Is that Michelle Williams? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
was good. It
and
was
she
good.
shared her journey and her challenges with mental illness and mental health, and I thought it was impactful. So we did that on Saturday,
Yeah.
and that was much needed. Most of our family was on a cruise for the last 8 days.
I think they're all back by now.
So we just ask that you continue to pray for everybody as we are praying for everybody who is impacted by the software upload error that occurred that shut down all these flights and paralyzed all these airlines.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own questions about this. Now, if you ran a corporation and your software was in like all these Fortune 100, 500, like all over the world, and you had an update, and that update basically shut half the world down due to a piece of corrupted code in that update. Would you call it hacking? Probably not. Probably wouldn't be good for your bottom line. I'm just saying, I don't know. It's curious that a company whose job it is to protect all these cyber assets, right? Cybersecurity is what they do.
Yes.
And so that's all I'm saying on that, because I don't want in trouble. I'm just saying we're not here to talk about
We've
that.
already been shut down a couple of times, I think, for the content
No
we've
shade.
been putting out there. So this is not secret information. But Dwayne Morgan, Shelly Wilson, and a few others, thank you for jumping in here and joining us. And so speaking about cyber, before we speak about cyber, when we were in the mountains, what did we talk about?
Mountain stuff, nature, like things you're willing to do or whatever. What? I mean, are you willing to get outside of yourself?
Good job. You remembered.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and real quick, I want to shout out Nick and Treese Morant. They have an anniversary coming up in a couple of days.
All right. Happy anniversary.
So that's what's up.
Yeah. My sister has an anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks, I think.
Okay.
That first week in August. So
Okay.
Is that a couple of weeks?
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll get to y'all.
We'll
get to.
Oh, okay. One at a time. But for all the anniversaries, birthdays, celebrations, all those things, just let us know. Sign up. We put that little QR code at the end of the show. Let us know when your special day is, and we will do our best to get you a special message to celebrate your day.
Yeah. So so that's that. So
That's that. Oh, okay. So back to speaking of cyber security.
Yeah.
What are we talking about tonight?
Well, the question up for discussion is AI replacing your spouse? Now,
Okay, wait. Say that again, but say it slow.
it's AI, that is artificial intelligence, replacing your spouse.
Yeah.
Now, some of you will admit, and by the way, go ahead and share this with whoever you share it with. Tag somebody, get them on in here, because we want to talk about this a little bit, right? Is AI replacing your spouse? Now, some of you are automatically, you're just like, no way. I don't even mess around with that AI stuff and all that, right? I just want to let you know that if you are plugged into anything digital, you've been dancing with AI for a long time anyway.
Yes, willingly or not, knowingly or not, we are existing in a time and an age where unless you have a flip phone, that's not a smartphone, and unless you are watching an analog television, and unless you are driving a car that was pre-90s, it is almost impossible. Oh, and unless you're homesteading and you are not interacting with the rest of the world on a regular occasion, you are likely impacted using and engaging with artificial intelligence.
It's certainly engaging with you. I was going to say, you homestead and you drive your granddaddy's old pickup truck and you live in Alaska somewhere, you're probably not watching the Marriage Shop. That's what doggone sure. So if you're watching the Marriage Shop, then AI is a part of your life and probably has been for a long time. It's not even probable. It has been, right? And so because there are computers and programs, software that are making decisions, right? Quote unquote decisions, right? There are certain things that are happening just based on all the information that we poured into our world.
Yeah.
Every time we accept something, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Every time you accept that thing or you log on to that thing or you give a little piece of information here or you click on something that you want to see, right? You are part of the algorithm, right? Or should I say there's an algorithm that's determining what you're going to see based on who you are, your identity, your habits, all that, right? There's an algorithm for everything you do and everything you watch.
Yes. And so often we'll say, is my phone listening to me? It could be.
Oh, it is. Google it. Your phone's listening.
But the point is you are feeding it information through, like you said, the things that you scroll through, the things that you stop on, the things that you click on, the things that you do a Google search for. All of those things are informing your environment. And so the environment that you've created is fed by you, and it revolves around you.
Yeah. And so I know what you're thinking, right? Well, I mean, I'm not putting that much information in. Yes, you are. And so what is an algorithm? And this is not I'm not even qualified to give a class on this, right?
Nope.
But what is an algorithm? It's a sequence of instructions. Generally, we think about it in terms of problem solving, if then type statements. If this is so, then you go this way. That is crazy. I just had like the thing in my right ear. That's wild. Strange. Anyway, let it ring. But if then statements, right? If then decisions, if this then that, if this then that. Think about that happening trillions of times, right? For you, everybody like you, people watch the things you watch, people live where you live, look like what you look, the whole 9 yards. There's all these data points going in and they've been going in forever, which is why AI now, artificial intelligence, as we hear about it, is something that we are now engaging directly with, right? When you think about artificial, think about this, and I think you can challenge me on this. I'm fine with you challenge me on anything I say, but I think that if we think about artificial things, that are replacements for, say, natural things, artificial things are designed for one purpose, and that is to serve you in some way, right? It doesn't naturally feed back into something broader outside of you, something natural, some type of a ecosystem, if you will. Think about it. Artificial flavor, artificial color, like make it taste better, make it look prettier. For who? For me. Artificial plants. Why? Because I want something green here, right? It's not going to die. I don't have to feed it.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't give me anything back. It's not dumping oxygen back into the environment. It's not, right? It's not processing anything. There's no real artificial.
Yeah.
And so artificial intelligence is designed for what? It's designed like to give you something that you want. So it takes advantage of, or should I say, it relies on our inherent self-centeredness.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not. You know you're selfish.
Self-centered, huh?
We're self-centered. I mean, at the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day, and in the middle, we are self-centered. And to not be so requires some effort.
Yeah.
Right?
It's interesting. I am what a lot of people refer to as an early adopter of technology.
Yeah.
I used to be. I've slowed down a bit in my later years. Hey, Lady T, glad you're here.
Hey.
But, back in the day, I mean, we got cell phones as soon as we could get cell phones. And then we kept trading those cell phones in for the latest, the greatest cell phone. And then we had those PDAs. You remember those were personal digital assistants. And so those were things that were supposed to make life easier by helping you organize your time. It was a little calendar and you could stay organized with the calendar. And so, we had cell phones and we had PDAs, and then, of course, we had computers from the time that we were in elementary school. Middle school. Elementary school.
Yeah.
And then those computers have evolved, and so it's computers and laptops and tablets. So we have phones, laptops, tablets, watches, all of the things that interact. And if you're an iPhone, as a matter of fact, if type in the chat, are you an iOS iPhone user, or are you an Android Samsung user? Type it in the chat.
Android all day, every day.
Type it in the chat.
I'm not typing in the chat. Y'all
Just
already
type
know what
in
it
there.
is.
Are you an iPhone or an Android user? Because if there's anything else out there, we don't even know what it is. It's only iPhone and Android. Oh, yep. Apple all
of
day.
course, Apple all day.
And
It's just
me too. So Mike is an Android user. But what I love about Apple and iPhone, thanks Shelly, is that all of the things can connect and communicate with each other. And there's a feature that you can hand off. Hey, Rex Tony.
Rex Tony, there we go. Come on, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Come on, Byron J. Come on, BJ.
Droid and iPhone.
Come
Yeah.
on, Jordan. Wait a minute. Okay,
has
fine.
both.
All right, fine, whatever. You still on Team Android, man, whatever.
So there's a handoff feature. So I can start on my phone, I can continue on my tablet, and then if I had a Mac, which I don't, then I could then be on my tablet, or I could just cast it to my television.
Anything can integrate with anything. It's just
Yes.
that everybody, they convince, I'm sorry, I said I wasn't gonna do this. So I'm gonna leave it alone on the Android versus Apple thing. However, everything integrates, right? It has its own thing.
Yes.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and so this whole thing, personal and work. Okay, yes. Hey, Dr. Rella Hicks, thank you for being here.
Hey.
Apple. And so the reasons why, it's ease of use. The interaction is great. The packaging is great. I love to open an Apple box. He said, I need a Mac. I can't do a Mac. I bought him a Mac years ago.
And I loved
can't
it
do a Mac.
until the video card went crapped out, and now I can't get anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Don't get me started.
Because here's the thing, while I used to be fast to adapt to tech, I hate when my interfaces change. And so now I am being outpaced. Every time I open an app now, whether it's my banking app or anything else, it's been updated. And those of you that know us or know me knows that I have an electric car. And I get in my car, and my car has been updated.
It's crazy.
So the technology has outpaced me. But here's the thing. Some people use Siri, like, for everything.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, Siri, remind me, make this grocery list, set an alarm, do all these things, right? And so we think about it as, okay, Siri is just the voice in my phone, but Siri is AI.
Right. And what is Siri's purpose?
Yes. To
Siri's
serve us.
purpose is to serve whatever. What Siri's purpose really is to learn more about you. Right?
But who do you have on your look? My phone. Y'all. Look, I don't know if you can see this, but my phone actually captured what I just said. So
See, I told the phones
it
are
made
listening.
reminders. My phone Siri was listening, and it says, make this grocery list, set an alarm, do all these things, right? And so
Siri's just a
Siri.
voice in my phone.
cancel.
Stop listening. But
My goodness.
But all these things, they rely on our inherent selfish nature.
Yes. Oh, I activated your Siri.
Every now and then, I like when I'm on a meeting. If I got to be close to people, but I would shout Alexa into the microphone,
Yes.
and it's funny to hear everybody's things respond.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, all those things, they're there for one purpose: to give you what you want. And so the question is, AI replacing your spouse? It may seem like a crazy idea, but everything around you, all your tech, is designed to give you what you want
Yes.
as easy as possible,
Yes.
as quickly as possible, in the way that you want it. Forbes put out a couple of articles over. They actually put out. There are several that they have on AI and relationships. One came out in February and one came out just a few days ago. These are actually, they're pretty fascinating if you're not familiar with how far along artificial intelligence has come. And so there's all kind of ways to use it with regard to relationships. There are ways to, you can have an assistant remind you of anniversaries and important dates and make recommendations. I imagine soon make reservations, right? Soon enough, I mean, you can probably, I didn't look, I didn't read, I haven't tried it, but you can probably go ahead and ask it to go ahead and order you something and have it delivered and all that stuff.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, Alexa will.
So, so there's that. There are platforms that help you to learn how to supposedly learn how to communicate, right? Pick up on social cues, facial expressions, vocal tone, things like that. Platforms that are designed to help you to practice interacting, right? And so, as with everything, right? If this was just simply, hey, we'll practice on this thing, I'll practice and I'll get better, and then I'll go and I'll give it a shot.
Yes.
Part of the issue, you know what? I'm going a little too far too fast,
Yeah.
but I'll simply say that how do you do that? Like, because if you're enjoying the interaction, because some of these are designed to not rehearse, even though they say the application can be rehearsal, they're designed for you to interact and conversate and all that with the platform, with the AI.
Yeah.
And if it goes well and you enjoy it, and many people do, they just stick with that.
Yeah, well, because it creates a positive feedback loop, right? And so the other thing about AI is that it's immersive. And so just like games, so I'd love to know how many of you play games, whether it's on your phone or you have an Xbox 5. Is that the latest one?
I don't know.
No, PlayStation 5 and Xbox. We have a Wii. I mean, but even the content in the games, the nature of the games, the introduction of virtual reality, the Oculus things, and the other things that really create an immersive experience are designed to create, this reward system or that positive feedback loop. And so, yes, sometimes you can win in games, sometimes you lose, but it captures your attention, and then you are existing in this virtual reality.
Yep. And so let me grab you, those of you who are not, kind of jumping all in on the VR and all that. Let me pull you back, because what you're thinking right now is, that's not me.
I'm not a gamer.
This is cool, not me. But if you're on your Facebook page, Instagram, your Twitter, YouTube, even your Netflix, your Hulu, right? Anything where you might get caught up, like because you want to hit the next thing, man. And Netflix, man, they got that thing down to a science. They know me. Oh, they know me well.
And they know me.
Because I swear, I'm like, and no more series, not watching any more series. Then it's like, well, you know what? I watched this one episode, just one. Then I'm going out here and do this thing. Bam. 3 episodes in, I'm like, what happened, right?
Yeah.
And so the tech, it knows you, right? How does it know you? Well, that's very much a function of AI as well, right? To really begin to understand and give you what it is you're most likely to consume. And so now, what does that do with our time? All of a sudden, time that maybe we would have been spent walking, maybe we're watching TV. Time we may have spent talking in the evening, maybe we're on our phones. Right. And so you don't have to be engaging directly with a designated AI platform per se. Right. Because artificial intelligence is doing all kinds of things behind the scenes that we're not consciously aware of.
Yeah.
Right.
So, the other thing was that we got into smart homes. So I don't know well, you could drop it in there if you have a smart home. So what do I mean by that? And even when you're looking for homes or to buy a home is one of those things that they will advertise, right? From the time that you walk in, having a smart home, from the thermostat to the alarm system, security system, to the to the
garage door,
appliances,
door locks,
garage door, all those things. Smart homes are, it's making things more efficient. It's supposed to be making things easier. But y'all know we watch a lot of movies. And so there have been some movies out there that have forewarned us of what could happen if we become completely consumed and immersed with all of the things that are supposed to be designed and developed to help us. I like that you brought up that our attention is diverted and our communication is diverted because of our interaction with all of these things. So, for example, Netflix. You brought up Netflix. So we have our different profiles. You can tell whose profile you're on without seeing whose name it is based on what the content that comes up. But here's the thing. When I watch something on Netflix, it'll ask me if I like it or not. And I never answer.
That's a relatively new thing.
Yeah, I never say I love this, I don't love it, or I hate it. I just don't give it any kind of feedback. I just go to the next thing. What?
Because Netflix is like,
It
it's
doesn't
all
matter.
good.
They
I know
already
you.
know.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I turn the TV off and I'm in my room. I'm on my phone. I get an email from Netflix that says, this was picked just for you. Coming soon, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dang, even if I'm not watching the TV is trying to get me to come watch it. That's dangerous.
It is.
But I think in so many ways it does help us. So I was talking about forewarning us. So Wall-E, if you never saw the animated movie Wall-E, Wall-E, I recommend that you look at it. I mean, because what it showed was the destruction of the world as we know it, right? And the dependence completely on everything automated. So we turned into these non-thinking, non-moving blobs of existence.
And there are, it's funny, the parallels that we see now in terms of not having to actually walk necessarily anywhere, right? You hop on a little hoverboard, whatever, get where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Electric bikes, electric scooters, like you don't even have to kick.
Yes.
So you don't have to kick anymore.
You don't have to
and
pedal.
so what does that mean? I want to bring it back to artificial intelligence and how it serves up everything you want.
Yeah.
There's no person that can do that.
No.
No person that can do that. Now, some would argue that we are in the last days, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if we're in the last days or not, right? But I'm going to read this real quick, and I'm going to highlight a couple of pieces of it. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 4 says this. But understand this, and this is ESV, y'all, if you care to know. But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness but denying its power. Now, a couple of things jump out to me in that scripture. And by the way, I dropped in here in the chat a couple of links to those articles I mentioned.
Yeah.
I think you'll find those very interesting. But the things I want to highlight out of the scripture: lovers of self, unappeasable, without self-control, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Right. Much of the things that we consume digitally really take advantage of those traits, right? Because all those things, it's like unappeasable. You can literally sit on your phone. They call it an infinite scroll for a reason. You can scroll video after video, content after content, and never hit bottom, because there's more content hitting the platform than you can ever consume. That should strike you as very remarkable. It is like insatiable, right? If content were food, it's like you're just sitting at a table and they're just dumping food and you just
like
never stop.
It's a smorgasbord.
It's like Golden Corral, and they keep bringing out those rolls.
Oh.
Right? And you just never stop. Like, if you're not really aware of that, how can any person compete with that?
Yeah.
Right?
That's real. I mean, a lot of people turn to other things. It used to be, okay, well, I'm just going to go over here, have my quiet time, read a book. read a book or read my Bible, right? And we continue to do that, but in a different way. And so you could be reading a book, a devotional, or your Bible on your phone, and you're having that time as you're interacting, you're feeding information in. Is still time that you can lose a sense of time.
Yep.
That's my whole point.
Yep. And I'm sorry, because we're talking AI, right?
Yes.
It's not only that you're getting that never ending meal, but it's been cooked up just for you.
Yes.
Like exactly how you like it.
Based
right?
on your preferences.
Based on your preferences. And so it's like, am I going to battle with this person over here? Or am I just go over here and just stay in this place that feels good to me? Right?
Yeah. Am I going to continue to have this hard conversation, or am I just going to laugh at some crazy videos? Yeah.
Yep.
Am I
And
going
here comes another one.
look at other people's problems and not spend the time to try to resolve my own?
So some people will have said, what's the problem with AI? Like technology is, it is what it is. And this is just where we are, right? And it's not going to stop. And so what's the problem with it? Well, remember what I said about artificial and what many artificial things are designed to do and what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take you to Matthew 22:37-40, which says, he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is Jesus talking. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend on all the law and the prophets. Now, that's the second greatest commandment. So there's something important about people and the love that people share that we are to emulate, right? That we are to give and to share.
Yeah.
Like love is a real important thing. You don't have love without the people.
Yeah. And fellowship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so I was thinking, like, man, this is very interesting. Like, because when we're talking about artificial intelligence and actually engaging with AI, right? And we're having, I mean, and if you actually engage with it, I mean, it's like there's a real person back there hitting you back, right? And so, and hitting you back, you know what I'm saying? Like engaging, communicating with you. And it's like that person is real, but they're not. And so another piece of scripture, Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind to one another. It's Ephesians 4:32. Sorry. Be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. Got me thinking, like, forgiveness assumes that there's going to be conflict. There's going to be something that requires you to exercise forgiveness. So if you are engaging with a platform, with an entity that is designed to just kind of give you what you want, and there is no conflict, and in fact, there are some platforms where you can engage in a conversation with the platform. If it doesn't go quite the way you want it, you can actually revert back and try something else. Like if I could do that in my marriage, oh my goodness. I'd be like, hey, excuse me, can we hit the stop button, the pause button, the rewind, go back and redo this whole thing?
Yeah, we could try
right?
it.
That is, but it's like, because when you drop it in real life, when you put it out there, it's out there. You can't pull it back. Right. This idea of being tenderhearted and forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave us requires a human being, like a real interaction to forgive. And so if you're not in a space where on a regular where you are forgiving and have to forgive, or even where you are offended, like, how do you learn how to do it?
Yeah. And I think it's particularly you should be particularly careful with immature minds, right? So, if you have children, young children, early adults.
We ain't talking about the kids.
We're not talking about the kids,
okay.
But some of you have kids, and I have kids.
Yeah.
But when you consider, even for an adult that is fully mature, that has had limited exposure, there's so many things that, once you open it up, it is difficult to close it. Right.
Yes.
And so, we talk about using your imagination. You don't have to use your imagination anymore, because if you're trying to envision something, you can actually ask something to create it for you. So many things are changing about human interaction, because there's less and less human interaction. One of the primary challenges in marriages is communication. And so we need to really be intentional about learning to communicate with each other, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary.
Yeah. There are platforms that will help you. They'll give you either tips or ideas about communicating.
Yeah.
About, there are some things that are predictive, like if you can you insert insert whatever, what I'm saying. Type in your information, input your information, right? And based on your responses to that information and the interactions you're having, the AI can kind of predict, like, well, it's likely that this is probably where your relationship is going unless you do X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Right? Now, truthfully, there may be some validity to that, and that actually can be helpful in that way, right? So I want to make sure I'm not here to totally demonize artificial intelligence, but I think we have to always be conscious of what it is we're doing, what we're sharing, right? What we are engaging in on our phones, because a lot of the stuff that we do, we like it. And so if we like it, we enjoy it, we just do it again.
Yeah.
And again and again, right? And so at some point we began to even not really even care how it is, how did this particular video pop up, how did this content come to me,
Yeah.
like, and what I'm inputting and what I'm getting back. What's the origin of that? The origin of that generally is the algorithm, right? This is the thing that is most likely you're going to either enjoy or you're going to consume and continue to consume.
Yeah. You know what an algorithm is? An algorithm is a flow chart. You remember there used to be those little rulers that had all of the different shapes. I used to love flow charts because anyway, as I digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are so many things. I talked about movies. iRobot. You remember iRobot?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and so iRobot was based on a book by Isaac Asimov.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so many things that kind of predicted what the future would be, and our reliance on AI specifically, and trying to forewarn us once again, in a healthy world, in a healthy places, it's integrated in a healthy way. But anything can be abused. So when we talk about using things to benefit you, it's in moderation still. If you use it in, hopefully we won't be replaced by AI. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You remember that movie?
I do.
Yeah, that
disturbing.
was a creepy one.
Yeah.
But but it's the overall reliance on something else. If I ask Alexa, no, just kidding. If I ask Alexa
oh
to
no, I'm sorry, y'all.
set an alarm for me, I fully expect that alarm is going to be set. She'll tell me alarm is set for whatever time, whatever day, and I go to sleep just knowing that alarm is going to go off. If I say, "Hey Mike, wake me up at 6:30 because I have to be somewhere," I mean, 9 times out of 10, Mike is going to wake me up. But there might be 1 or 2 times, eight times out of 10, 1 or 2 times, it's like, well, you were sleeping so peacefully. Or I forgot. Or, and
or I overslept.
Or you
Whatever.
oversleep.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's okay. So in that way, yes, I have replaced my husband reminding me or my husband waking me up with artificial intelligence.
Oh, that makes you smart because, yeah. Go ahead.
So it's not altogether a bad thing. But, as we talk about this, I think that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about I don't know who sang that song. You remember the song, Bob?
No.
So somebody out there remembers the song Bob. And Bob it's an acronym. It stands for Battery Operated Boyfriend.
I remember the song. What does it? You gotta. Okay, I'm wait. I'll wait.
You were talking about artificial things that are meant to serve you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
not
fine.
AI, but it falls into the area of artificial things.
Yep.
And so here's the thing, there's nowhere that says that self pleasuring is not allowed, but it should not replace your spouse. That's where I'm going with that.
You just went to a whole. Now the people gonna be like, wait a minute.
Well,
We
I
got to
mean,
talk about
we're
that.
talking about.
So,
Yeah, maybe that'll
but
come up
but
another
that
time. If
that
y'all
is
want to talk about that,
that
we can
is
talk about it.
you know, as much I'm gonna allow it as much of a stretch
You
as that
allow
is.
it. I mean, it
I
goes
mean,
into artificial things.
yeah, but it's
Things that we do to
anyway.
feel good. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness, Tiffany Stokes, right? That's Tiffany just captured my internal state. All right. Anyway,
The point of the song is
I
there are many things
I
that Bob
got
can
it.
do, but
I
what Bob can't do.
I know.
Right.
All right.
And I think that is the point in this. There are
That-
things that AI can do for you, and there are positive ways to use it and integrate it in your lifestyle. But AI cannot replace your spouse.
So, right, of course. Yep. And so I want you all to read those articles because some of you may be surprised in terms of how the level of technology and I and if you think about this, like in Japan, for example, like they got way out of the gate on this thing, like way years ago, right? So many years ahead of us in terms of what you see in terms of people reacting, or should I say, interacting and engaging with machines and technology. So it's not an altogether out there idea that our attention and our preference shifts a little bit because what we get over here, it's easy, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
That's
You cannot
good.
replace because not only jealousy from your spouse, right? But I want you to consider this.
Hey, is that Shaban?
I think that is Shaban.
Hey.
Shaban, like just saying it, like the rhythm of it, that's Shaban.
Shaban. Yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So I want y'all to consider this because and read those articles because some people are now trying to replace true human interaction
Yes.
with AI interaction, right? And so how can we do that? If we're seeking replacement or artificial interaction, artificial relationship, artificial love,
Yes.
then we're effectively seeking an artificial God.
Ooh. Say
Did
that
I
again.
say that?
Slow.
If you're seeking artificial love, then you're seeking an artificial God. Why? Because God is love, right? Now, I had a conversation not that long ago, and someone was telling me about kind of the interaction with the AI and all of the things that it seemed that this platform was expressing.
Okay.
We're talking about emotional expression, right? And so whenever I think about emotional expression, obviously I think about Galatians, right? Fruit of the Spirit.
Yes.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the fruit of the Spirit. And so you can even feel like what you're receiving is love. You can feel like you're receiving gentleness and kindness and patience and all that stuff. Those are the fruit of the Spirit. But like, how can there be the fruit of the Spirit if there is no Spirit?
The AI does not have a soul.
It doesn't have a soul, y'all. It is responses that they're just like anticipating, predicting, you know what I'm saying, making judgment calls about what it is you most want to hear, what you most want to receive. Why? Because you've given up all the information. So I'm going to say this, and this kind of is a two-way street. AI is continuing to collect information. Like the amount of information that's that it has access to now and that it's pulling information from is exponentially more than it was even months ago.
Yeah.
Which was exponentially more than it was months before that, right? It's just constantly pulling in information and making even better decisions about what it is you want to see, what you want to hear, etc. So you can't collect information at the rate that AI can. Trillions of pieces of information, right? But what are you doing to collect information
Yeah.
about your spouse?
That's what I was just thinking about. I'm glad you said that
Yeah.
because I think that a challenge for you this week is to really take a good look and reflect on whether or not social media knows more about you and your preferences than your spouse does. Yeah. What do you mean by? What do I mean by that?
What do you mean by that, Wendy?
I'm glad you asked.
Cool.
You know, you can find out so much about a person based on their Facebook profile, right? What they want the world to know. But like you said, if I was to go in and look at your profile and check, the things and look at the things that come up, it would give me information that I maybe didn't know. When you look at my profile on Netflix, you're like, so what are you thinking when you click on my profile? What did you learn about me that you didn't already know?
I learned that you like B movies that are dubbed over. And what? It's like, what is it with movies made in Italy? I don't understand. Is that what you're asking?
Well, it's something that you comment on. It's like the lineup on Netflix is usually 10 foreign films.
It is like some kind of film festival in Hoboken. I don't even know. It's just weird.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
So, but what I know about you, because we do watch TV together, but what I'm not surprised at the things that you watch. I shouldn't be. Your spouse shouldn't be surprised by what you're scrolling, what you're interested in, what you like to watch, what you like to consume. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be like, oh, I didn't know you liked graphic violence. I didn't know you liked vampire movies. I didn't know. So your challenge. Find out.
Yeah. And so you don't have to collect trillions of bits of information.
No.
You just have to ask simple questions on a regular basis. She said, I don't understand. It's like I can't read and look at a movie at the same time. Or if it's dubbed in English, the voice has to match up with the person.
And that's so funny because I need subtitles for English shows now. They're just on all the time.
But are you willing to just simply, because what happens is we get complacent, right?
Yes.
And the reason that your spouse may be enjoying being on the phone more than with you, and this is not an indictment, I'm just saying like AI don't stop. Collecting information, constantly trying to dial in and hone in and just get it just right.
Yes.
And so we don't have to, obviously we can't operate at that pace, but what we can do is simply check in, ask questions. Don't assume because we've been together for 2 years, 10 years, 25, 30 years that you have the answers.
Oh, happy anniversary to the Hamiltons, 30 years. When you said that, I was like, Gloria and John. Happy anniversary. Sorry.
Yeah. Happy anniversary, y'all. And Joseph, Pat Wright, exactly. He said working for Samsung. I'm seeing the benefits of AI learning to use AI and not AI using you, right?
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you what, AI, y'all, for just doing research and stuff, it's a game changer. I sat here today and did like literally 1 week worth of work in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So there is certainly a purpose behind it, but you can't allow. You have to be aware. I'm just be intentional and aware of everything you're doing. Right. So.
Yeah. What scares me is the creativity that is missed, right? Or the things that are being replaced. Whether everything from music to art to all those other things that really have been a demonstration of human creativity that are now being replicated or replaced by artificial intelligence. Those are the things that I think are so important that we hold on to. So what does that mean in your marriage? Well, I'm not suggesting that you have to have the same likes. We don't watch the same shows. We decide what we're going to watch together, and then when we have time, we watch what we want to watch. So Mike is all about the documentaries, and I'll listen. I can tell him what happens in the things that he watches, and all of that, because I'm listening, but I'm not watching. And it's the same. So we just have to be really, really cognizant and careful of those things, because the idea is not to make us the same. The idea is to be able to embrace those differences, to be able to appreciate the differences in your spouse, right? Nobody wants a robot for a spouse. And what do I mean by that? It's exactly what you were saying. Someone that's just going to say everything that you like, do everything that you want, never nag you, never complain, never argue. It does whatever you want, whenever you want to do it, and likes all the things that you like. Well, I mean, maybe that sounds good to somebody, but I can tell you that, the whole idea of variety being the spice of life, and the whole idea of really kind of embracing and engaging in all of the things that are different. If we were all alike, it would be a very boring place to exist.
Yeah. And we would be, if we allow, understand this, like all these things that are designed to give you what you want and serve you, they're designed to keep you connected to that thing.
Yes.
And so earlier I said, talk about artificial love, effectively meaning that you're kind of seeking an artificial God, right? Some people call it idolatry, but I ain't come here to drop biblical lingo on you. But anything that's a replacement for God is replacement, is an idol. And ultimately, if that's what we're choosing because we're getting more and more of what we want, and we're making that decision more and more, what we're then doing is also replacing our spouse. And we're becoming more and more isolated. Look around.
Yep.
We're more and more isolated. So how do you not become isolated? How do you not get sucked up into all of the things that are around you that are available to you? First and foremost, you got to be aware of it and make decisions.
Yes.
Right? That help you to stay grounded, stay present, and stay connected to each other. So
yes,
that's all I got.
So if you have a spouse that likes to scroll through videos and is laughing and wants to share them with you, we had to come to an agreement. So I have to I have to ask Mike if I can show him 3 videos. Can I show you 3? Can I show you 2? Can I just show you this one? I save them, and then I wait, because I'm like, okay, well, if I save it, then I have to wait to the time when I can ask, can I show him 3? And then I show him the videos. And what we know about that is things that I find to be hilarious. I mean, laugh out loud funny. He's like,
I mean, some of that stuff is funny, but I have a cap because I know
yes.
that there's no getting to the last video. And so even personally, I have kind of a cap. Yes. And that's actually a limit, y'all, anyway.
Not
so, and so it's like, okay, that's it.
Yes.
The next one is going to be funny. Yep. Know it. Got it. It's going to be funny. Doesn't matter if I don't see it, the quality of my life will not change one bit.
Yes.
And that's what I mean about being aware and present and just understanding what it is you're taking in, so you don't get swept away with it.
Yeah, and my point in that is that I don't see that as rejection. I don't see that as him not sharing my interest. I don't see that as, okay, I can't share anything with him. I see that as in inserting and creating the necessary boundaries so that the time that we spend and the things that we share are really, things that are really important. Like, I'm saving this, the best part, for you. This is what I want to give you. And that should be a goal for all of us in our relationships, right? It's, okay, if I only had 10 minutes to say everything that I wanted to say to you, what would I say? And would I allow anything else external to us enter into whatever it is that I'm going to share? And so, again, just think about that. Would I use 5 of my 10 minutes to say, look at this video because it's funny? Would I say, okay, let me show you this thing that I saw. Let me show you something that I want to buy. Or could I just honestly just share from whatever I have, from my spirit, from my heart, just share openly with him?
Yeah.
That is way more attractive than anything artificial.
No question. And I enjoy like when, we're creating our own jokes. Like you just in the middle of it, you didn't even know. It's like, this is hilarious. We're just having a regular old conversation. So
no, like the
anyway.
other night, it was a loud noise.
That wasn't even funny.
It was funny. It was like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something fell, and so we just laugh at ourselves because we have to.
Yeah.
It was
Hilarious. And the dogs.
okay. We can't bring y'all into the bedroom.
Anyway, no, we're not. So moving on. It's time to pray. So if y'all pray with us, please. Heavenly Father, we come tonight just thanking you for being God. Thanking you for blessing us. And we just ask, God, that you help us to stay connected, God, connected to you and to one another. Help us to appreciate and love and honor and nurture that which is real, God. Help us to use the tools that you've given us, and we thank you for those tools, but help us to not become subject to those tools, but to place them under subjection, under you and with your guidance and your blessing, God. So we thank you for everyone tonight. We thank you for every couple, every home, every family represented here, and we ask that you bless them in amazing ways, God. Be with them in all that they do, and we'll be sure to give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise. We thank you. We love you. Pray these and all blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Hey, Justice Smith, where you been?
Where you been, man?
Yeah, and
Probably
so Shelley says,
vacationing.
I'm the same. We're just trying to share the joy.
Share
love
the
it.
joy.
I
I
love
tell
it.
Wendy, hey, listen, make it 3 good ones. Better be 3 because that's it. Anyway, but look, love y'all. All right.
Yeah.
We will see you next week in the marriage shop.
Oh, no, we won't.
Oh, no, we won't. We're not going to see you next week in the marriage shop.
No, I'm going to
Oh,
be
that's-
sharing at a women's retreat
yeah.
this weekend in Alpharetta, Georgia, with a group called the Hadassah Sisters, and I'm excited to be able to share with this group of women who have fellowshipped online for the last 3 years, and so they'll be coming together for one of the first times face to face, and so that will be amazing. But I'll be there the entire weekend, and then I'll be spending some time with my daughter. So,
Oh, that's right, man. I might sneak up in the marriage shop, y'all. I've had something I've been thinking about working on. This might be the time. So we'll see.
We'll see. But until next week, have a blessed week. We'll see you soon.
Roll the music, y'all. Play the music.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's your boy JC. I'm in the mood, love. Yeah. Lately I've been constantly thinking about you, babe. You drive me crazy, yeah. And girl, I want this. Got me all up in my feelings. Oh, what a feeling, yeah. I knew the first time I laid eyes on you that you would be here forever. I'm not being arrogant, and I still can't take my eyes off you. 'Cause you made me better, so much better. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, baby. I love your kindness, I love your confidence. Ooh, you're the finest. So glad you're mine, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't wanna be with nobody else. Give me your love, that's all the wealth I need. Baby, you're priceless to me, yeah. To love you for a lifetime. I'm in the mood to love you for a lifetime, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa. Promise I'ma be around, I'ma always hold you down. Won't you come and hold me now? Won't you come and hold me now? I just got a new coupe, yeah, for itself loud and clear, yeah. So throw it in the air. It's the sweetest sound to follow my ear. And I want the world to know I'll love you forever. And that's a long time, babe. But I got time for you, babe.